Welcome everybody. This is Dark Brotherhood. I'm bringing you guys a training video. A lot of people don't know how to play squad, and if you are new to squad or you're trying to get into Galactic Contention but you don't want to sound like a total noob, this is the guide for you. So we're going to start off. I started off on the training range. This is Jensen's range, but from the menu you can copy and paste this code. Admin change layer GC Tatooine training, and this will put you in the training map. So we'll go to local server, and first off you'll see you can pick 212th or the droid army. I'm going to go clones so I can train you guys how to use the VIX here first and different kits. We'll go over each one of them and what they do. So to start off, most people don't know this, but whenever you're brand new to the game, if you're trying to squad lead, make sure that you have a microphone. A lot of people get in the game that don't have a microphone, and therefore you can't talk to your squad mates, you can't assign them to fire teams, you can't give them objectives. Makes it all around harder. So we'll just name this one the newbies for today. So now I've created a new squad. Now you see I get these two new options up here in these kits. I can either be a normal trooper kit, which is just the normal loadout for a squad lead, or you can become an ARC trooper, and you can choose the DC-15 LE or you can do the West Star. The West Star is pretty cool. You see here you got your sidearms. It tells you your kit. You get 5 mags. Down there in the bottom right corner you can see of each little square it says 5 and 5. That just tells you how many mags you get with it. These guys have a really cool kit. Their gun has a lot less recoil and it's pretty fun to use. So start off using that. We'll spawn over here. So you see how you have these 3 things spawn select. You got main base, you got main base I-489, main base I-496. And if we zoom in here, we can see which ones that we can spawn in on. Now you see all these right here. These are all vehicles all along the way. And I'll teach you guys how to use those in a little bit. So if you're learning just how to squad lead for the first time, the most important thing is learning how to communicate. Whenever you're talking to your troops, if you look down here at the bottom of your screen, it says west, northwest, north. You also have numbers underneath it. So sometimes whenever you're giving callouts to your group members or you're giving callouts to your squad mates, you need to say, okay, I see an enemy UTAT at 328, 60 meters from me. So if you're running with squad mates, squad leads are also important for pushes, right? You have a rally, which you can put down. It's a temporary spawn point for your squad mates. And if enemy troops get within 50 meters of this, within 15 meters of this, they can proxy it. And if they stand right on top of it, you can make it disappear. It's also a boon because other squad members can also rally off of you, and other squad leads can rally off of yours. They can do what's called a buddy rally, where they can just click here and then right click it, and it'll say deploy rally point, and you can deploy one off of there. So if somebody says buddy rally off of me, that's what they mean. Last but not least, we got our weapons kits. So we have our dual DC-17s. Pretty cool. We got our thermal detonators. Left mouse button will let you throw it further. Right mouse button lets you underhand throw it closer. You have your smoke grenades where you can use to designate, okay, airstrike on red smoke please, and call in your enemy or call in your friendly air to come take these down. Alright, and then lastly we have incendiary detonators, which you can pop these on enemy radios and it'll start deteriorating. So you'll see it'll catch fire and then it'll start burning on top of a radio. It's really useful for burning objectives down. Alright, and then the other important thing is to talk in command chat. So command chat is a unique chat it's exclusive to the squad leads. So this is how you talk to your friendly armor, this is how you talk to other squads, this is how you talk to commander. You just hold down G and now we're talking to all squad leads. We hold down B, now we're talking in squad radio. We hold down V, now we're talking in local chat. Alright, so last thing we need to do is talking about how to place marks on the map and let people know, okay, I see an enemy vehicle here or there. So for this example, we're going to talk about sail barge. So you're on Tatooine, you're going up against the Tuskens, you need to be able to say, okay, enemy sail barge is right in front of me. Well, no other squad's going to know that this is right in front of you unless you mark it on map. Let's say, okay, mark it on map. So I'm going to go place my eyeball on it, put an observe. Now I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to right click. You see all these icons here. So you can say, okay, there's enemy sand crawler right in front of me, or in this case, enemy sail barge. I'm not running against the Tuscans, otherwise this would probably show up a little bit easier. But let's say for the sake of the argument, this is an enemy AAT. So now I put that right here, and now I have a mark. Okay, this is enemy AAT right here in front of me, 40 meters out. And they'll say, okay, we see it, we're calling armor right now. That way we can get enemy armor off the field, friendly armor on the field. Now we have armor advantage. You can also do the same thing with enemy troopers, so you're staring directly ahead, and you can hold T, enemy markers. There we go. Now we say, oh, there's enemy troops right here. We look on map. There's 3 helmet marks in front of us that tells us, okay, that there's enemy marks right in front. All right, last but not least, we need to talk about placing down structures. So I put these down earlier for a different video, but I'm going to go ahead and show you right now how to put these down. So sometimes you need to be able to put up defenses, guard your posts, things like that. So you got to go here, go to deployables. Top right, we got to do tech structures, and we want to put down a repair station. So I'm going to click repair station. I'll come over here. I'm going to place this down. And I'm going to tell my squad mates, all right, guys, I need shovels on this. So now I got a shovel icon on my map. They'll move here. It'll tell them how far away they are from it. And if your squad lead tells you that he needs shovels over here, then come over here and build it up for him. The other thing is habs. Habs are how you spawn in. So we're going to go to tech structures. We're going to go to habs. We're going to place down a hab. Always, always, always. See how the radio's over here, right? Never, ever do what I did here. This is a faux pas. Never place rallies close to radios. Never place habs close to radios. Never place lodges, vehicles, anything close to a radio. You always want to keep it far, far, far away. So let's go over here. We want to stay true to Star Wars, right? We want to stay far, far away. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to hab and place down here. And obviously put it in cover, but this is a video. We do ammo crates. You always put down habs and ammo crates together. And whenever you're doing this, you can see how much something costs. So you see how it has a little hammer in the center that says 500. It means it's 500 construction. So if you're a vehicle running supplies over and you hear somebody say we need 500 build, this is what they're talking about. Is they need more construction. All right. Over here we have light strongholds. These are kind of pointless. Not a lot of people use them. There's not really use for them. They're just a giant sign that says hit me. So you can put it down here. Sometimes people like to put them blocking the roads. Once again, there's not really a reason to put them down. They're not really going to benefit your team that much. We also have the other most important thing, which are the tech structures. So we want to put down the shield generators. So shield generators are perfect. You can put them over points that are really important. So we'll put the shield generator down here, and say somebody builds it, it'll cover out to a certain distance. And one of the cool things too is that as a squad lead, you can kind of do what's called cheesing it, which is you can grab like an AV6, and at the limit of that shield generator, we can place this down. So I'm going to go ahead and build this up, and I'll get back to you guys in just a second. Alright guys, so I'm back. I just built up this whole shield generator. Now one of the cool things about shield generators is that armor piercing rounds can't go through this, but heat rounds can cause a little bit of an explosion radius. So make sure that you make your guys aware of that whenever you're building these up. That if you're trying to protect a structure, tell your guys not to get to the edge. Sometimes you can cheese it and put your gun right outside the barrel, or the barrel right outside the shield. And so you can poke out, go back in, poke out, come back in. So that way you don't get killed too easily. It doesn't really work all the time. Sometimes you still get popped because people can tell that you're trying to cheese it. So just be careful with that. Now, shield generators at their widest, 30 meters across. So not that big, or sorry, 60 meters across, can't math. Just make sure that whenever you put these down that it's in a very defensible spot. Don't place it out here in the open. One orbital from this and it'll take it down, which I'll show you guys in the commander video that I'm going to put up later. So we're trying to build things inside of a shield generator. One of the things to protect is AV6 cannons. So cool thing about AV6s is that you can put them down inside these shields. If you're outside of it and you're trying to cheese it and you're trying not to let it get hit, well, it'll do it here. But most of the time it'll say emplacement is out of line of sight. And you can put these down inside the shield just so their barrel's poking out. So you can protect the gunner, he can't get sniped off of it, and you can take out enemy vehicles while watching the objective. Another thing is other fortifications that are really good. Don't overuse these Hasco blocks. These don't really do anything. They're not very good. People can hop on top of them. It's a single square block. It's really easy to use. Low wall pillboxes are great whenever you're trying to put them on top of structures. So if I wanted to put one on top of one of these things, so they're called murder holes built into the bottom. So we'll do this. Alright, so now we have a murder wall or murder hole put into this, and we can shoot in the people whenever these things get built up. Really great. These are normal barriers here, so you can go over here and you can look up for low walls, high walls, which are these. Low walls are obviously lower. Use these whenever you want to put these around a perimeter. They're a cheap way of stopping vehicles on the road. Vehicles can blow their way through it, but you can use them as barricades. So that way your infantry can pass through, or your smaller vehicles can pass through, but the bigger vehicles can't. So you can, like, say you want to block this AAT from moving through, you can put this right here and just box it in. Somebody will have to dig it down, or it'll have to blow it up itself. Another cool thing that you can do are electric fences. These will slow down enemy units, and these will damage it, and they'll also damage friendlies. So be careful putting it down somewhere where, you know, friendlies are trying to get out quickly. So we're going to put down an electric fence. We'll put it down right here. Then we'll have an engineer come over here and build it up, and they'll make a little line. It'll slow people down as they walk through it. Another thing are low wall crescents, which I'll talk about in a minute whenever we start talking about putting guns down and things like that. And obviously, if you're fighting for the Republic, put down your flag. Show some pride, man. Fighting for the Republic, for the Emperor, bro. Alright, so now lastly, we'll do this. I will put down the E-webs here. I'll show you guys how to use mortar squads as well. We'll put down mortars outside. Sometimes people don't want to make a bunch of mortar squads, but it's honestly pretty fun whenever you're getting a bunch of guys to hop on these things. Now you can only put down 2 per fob. So we'll go ahead and put down our 2 here. And this is where like the low walls and other things like that come into handy, where you can block them off so that way nobody can see these guys, get easy shots on them. Usually you have to have the high ground, which, you know, Obi-Wan always has the high ground. Let's put this down. Alright, so we can block them off in here. You can put mortars here, and then I'll show you guys how to use those in a minute. This is going to be a pretty long squad lead video because there's a lot of things you can do as a squad lead that make you really important and really do impact the overall gameplay, the flow, and how well your team can do every match. So anytime you're doing anything like this, make sure you're communicating. I put down 2 mortars on the fob by I-482. So I put down 2 mortars here. We can launch them on a point. Where do you want these going? And you communicate with other squad leads to see if they're hitting good, or communicate with other squad mates to see if they're hitting good. And then I told you guys we were going to find a use for this crescent. So one of the things that's fun about these guys is that you can put them right here in front. So that way the barrel can stick out right above it, and you can shoot outside of it. Alright. So last but not least, we had our weapons that we talked about. Now we need our AA turrets. So these AA emplacements, you get 2 of these per fob as well. We need to put these down here. So you always want it in a place that's going to be well protected for the gunner with a great sight line. So, you know, spawns over there for most maps, the spawns over there for most of the enemy teams. So we're going to face one this way so we can get good coverage here. And you usually want to be able to pincer maneuver. So you always want both guns to be able to see the same things. So that way we can catch them in a crossfire. So we put our other one here. And these have 360-degree rotation, so they can turn around all the way and get everything that we need them to get, right? Okay. So we went over tech structures, HABs, how to use them, repair stations, what they do. They basically repair vehicles, tell your guys to build them up. You'll be a vehicle's best friend if you do that, and probably get a lot more supplies. Shield generators. We love a good shield generator, just on points that are really important and not out in the open like this one. This one's a piss poor example. And then light stronghold. So light stronghold, like I said, not really useful, doesn't really do much for you. We went over Hasco blocks. These bunkers right here, I didn't really talk about these too much. These are really great whenever you want to put them around the perimeter of a shield. So sometimes if you cheese it just right, you can dig down the shield and then see where or dig it up, and then you can see what the radius looks like, and then you can put these down, have somebody dig it down, place it there, and then dig it back up. And then you can do this all the way around and make it to where you can shoot out, but the enemy cannot shoot in. So we can do like this. So that way we can just keep on running around the edge. And most people alternate bunkers and high walls together. And then you can put ladders down behind them. So that's just kind of going over like some little basics here, right? But I'm sure you guys can get the hang of that. It's pretty easy. Make sure you defend and build things properly. Don't put a bunch of low walls around here. That's pointless. You're just wasting your team's supplies. Always make sure you have more ammo than build. You can put down a billion structures, but if you can't defend it, then there's no point, right? Try to always keep at least a 2-to-1, maybe 3-to-1 ratio of ammo to building supplies on any given point. Now, if you're super fobbing, which means that you're trying to place down a bunch of defenses on a really contested point that you know is going to be a chokehold and a choke point, then that's awesome. That's really what we want to do. And sometimes for those points, you can also do what's called V'ing, which is not making a point indefensible, but making it more defensible, right? So say we want to defend this alley. A good thing that we can start off by doing is placing these bunkers at an angle. So we force our enemies to come in these spots here. And I'm just going to make a few here. And then say like we wanted to defend this road a little bit easier. Okay, now we place bunkers here. We'll put this all the way across. And we can basically block off this entire road using only bunkers, forcing them to come in through here where we can all crossfire at somebody that's right here in the middle. And then one of the great things too is that you can have your engineers place their mines back here, so if this gets broken down and a vehicle drives through, it'll run over the mines and blow up because you're forcing vehicles to go through a funnel. And you can get your rocket troopers to sit back and shoot it. Just normal defenses, think basic engineering. We want to be able to force these guys into a hole, right? The best way you can win is forcing your enemy to do what you want them to do. And a great thing too that you can do is you can stack them. So you put a bunker down here, and then you can put another one on top, you can put another one on top, and you can just keep stacking these bad boys until you have a tower. But like I said, it takes one orbital to take it all down. And sometimes you can put those AV6s on top to get 360-degree range. Once again, 150 building materials, 600 building materials. That's a lot to get it up there in the sky just to have it orbitaled. So just be smart about your placement for weaponry and using team supplies. Try not to bust anything up so bad. You're not going to foobar the whole game, but a lot of squad leads will be mad at you if you waste kits, if you waste resources, if you waste assets. Just keep that in mind. Alright, and last thing, so I told you guys I was going to teach you all how to use these mortar squads. Let's go on ahead and change our kit. We're going to build these up. I'm going to show you guys one of the cool things that you can do on this server is you can learn how to use the different kits, play around with them, see what you like. So I got the engineer kits, that way I can build these up 2 times as fast. Now, mortars are really fun. They're really great. They can block out, you know, a huge swath, or it can really just hammer home on a point and really make the infantry scared to push up from the enemy team. You can essentially create a moving wall for your troops to keep pushing forward. You can smoke screen. You can do a lot of really fun stuff. One of the great things about having a mortar hab in place is that whenever you're running squad lead, you can tell your guys, okay, so you're really going to use your radiance in here at the bottom, and you're going to say, okay, so I want you guys sending mortar rounds here on this mark here, and they'll say, okay, well, where's here? So you got to line up your dot exactly with the mark that your squad lead gives to you. So I'm going to put it 328. It says 450 meters out, so I look off to the left and I say, okay, my range is 450 meters, which means I need to set it to 1409 milliradians. So I'm going to move my mouse all the way up. I'm going to go to 1409, overshot it a bit there, and I'm going to turn back this way, and I'm going to launch a salvo of 3 rounds. Sometimes they'll say vary by 1 to 2 degrees. So you'll say 1 degree, 2 degrees, right there. All right, we shot our 3 shots. Now we got to reload, and you see the top left how much it takes per mortar round that goes through. So 1, 2, and 3. All right, now say we want to load in smokes. So now I got smokes at the bottom right. You can see it there. Reload. And now you hear those mortars hitting over there on top of that platform. So say I want to put something right here in front of me. I want to smoke out this spot. So it's going to go vertical. It'll take a little bit longer to hit, but that's okay. So less than 50 meters, you need to go to 1579. So almost vertical, right? So we got 1579. So let's go right here. Let's say we have the distance from 1579, 1558. We'll go at 1567. Alright, so now we'll wait for those to hit. I'll show you guys. We'll wait for them to go. And they should be hitting right around here. It's that awkward silence. Please ignore this. There we go. 2 and 3. Boom. So now we can tell our squad lead, or squad lead can ask, okay, were those mortars good hits? And they'll say, yeah, those were great hits. Perfect. You did amazing. You're the best mortar squad ever. All right. So we'll switch back to our ARC Trooper kit. So that's how you use mortar squads. It's pretty much the basics that we needed to go over here. Was if we could really just get around to using these weapons. AV6, a lot of people try to use this as an infantry cannon. Don't. Tell your squad mates whenever you're making the squad and they're trying to get the AV6s, make sure that they know this has no HE effect. This is not high explosive, this is AP. So it'll do a lot of damage to Vix. It will not do a lot of damage to infantry units. You have to hit them head on. It's basically using one of these, but it's a sniper round that's moving at 5 billion miles an hour. So you want to put a hole in somebody's chest, it's great. Or put a hole in a tank, it's great, but it will not do AoE effect on your troops. And then AA turrets, whenever these get built up, you know what, I'm going ahead and build one up, show you guys how to use it too. I guess I can go ahead and do the AV6, it's not too hard. We're right here, might as well. I mean, if you're squad leading, you may want to do this, that way you can basically sit on these posts and help out your team as much as possible. So let's just get this engineer kit and build it up. Now remember I was telling you earlier about keeping that ammo ratio about 3 to 1 if you can. 5 to 1 is really great. That's if you have really great logistics. So make sure if you're squad leading that you're doing your part. If you're going to use ammo, make sure your squad mates are running back. If you're new to the game, run back and grab the ammo for your squad lead. They would really appreciate it. Alright, so we'll pop in an AA turret, and now you see it's reloading. And you can see the angle. The angle just tells you how far down your barrel's angled. So pitch right here, and then angle will tell you the range, things like that. Alright, so Q will toggle what your view is, so it's reticle, and then you hold shift to zoom in. This is HE, and it's anti-air, so it has a little bit of an AoE effect, kind of like what we were talking about. Pulling stuff up. Get 100 rounds, 150 rounds run through this thing. You can basically bust down most air that comes through. And with that other one there, we can cross off the list, say, yeah, we can catch somebody in the crossfire. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll build up this AV6. And there's another reason why too that you never want to have these things go down. They're 600 build, they take forever to build up. I'm an engineer, so I'm building things at twice the normal speed. You're seeing how long this is taking me. Even if you have 2 engineers on this, it's just like watching paint dry. Everybody hates it. So we got half of it built up, over half, we're at 70%. There we go. Alright. Oh. Got stuck in it. Alright, hang on. So a good example right here. Whenever you get stuck in something, dig it down. Alright, let's move around the side. I'll show you guys how to do it. Take it back up. Alright, so now we got the AV6 cannon here in front of us. Gotta get behind it to hop in. Alright, so it's 100 rounds, 100 ammo. It's 100 ammo per shot. So you get in here and it tells you the range. This is 108 meters out. We're gonna reload this bad boy real quick. And this works on the same aspect as like a turret. So you gotta be able to get this thing to move all the way around. Can't reload it because there's no ammo on the base, but yeah. So right click your mouse button, zoom in with Q. Now we can see all the way out here and see that 200 means 200 meters out. That's where you want to be aiming. The drop off's not really that huge. Down to the bottom is about 400 meters ish, 450 to 500. So it's really not too bad. So you can put it right about here and you'd be hitting at that 500 mark. But yeah, so that's how you use these. And now the barrel's sticking out of the shield, as you can see, and we can get shots on them. They can't shoot me as the gunner though, which is great. That's how you want to play this. Alright, last but not least, we will talk about E-webs. So E-webs are great. They're heavy machine guns. They're anti-infantry. These guys are ranged out to 300 meters. They're pretty accurate. They'll stay dead on. The great thing about these is that they have a little shield in front of them as well, so you can't just get sniped immediately. So, you're not going to see it here from this angle, but you can see it here. It's really kind of hard to see right now. It's translucent. But there is a shield. It'll keep your head from getting popped. So yeah, put these down. It's great for holding a hallway down. This is great for killing. Basically infantry only. Doesn't really do much to Vix. But alright. So that's everything you need to know about squad leading. It's a pretty basic rundown. Sped through quite a bit. If you guys get confused about anything, feel free to ping me in Discord. I'm active in the Galactic Contention. I'm active on servers. I'm active on the ACE server as well as the GC servers. You guys ever get on, see me leading a squad or see me running a vehicle and you have any questions, just pop in. You just want to say hi, you can say hi as well. I'm more than happy to help out new players and help you guys get involved and keep Galactic Contention alive, you know? It's a really fun game, and it's really fun to meet new people and find your squad. So if y'all need anything else, this is Dark Brotherhood signing off. Remember, for the Republic, and get some clankers, man. Hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.